I think it's pretty safe to say that by far one of the most mysterious aspects of the Star Wars sequel trilogy has all to do with Rey's lineage, her identity, and exactly who her parents really are and where they come from. That will be told in great detail by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one great thing about Episode 9 is that not only will it actually have many different twists and turns and revelations, but it's also going to be a movie that not only ends the sequel trilogy, but the entire Skywalker saga. So it's a very special film. It's a historical Star Wars movie that Disney, Lucasfilm, J.J. Abrams, and everybody else attached to this film really had to treat with special care here in order to really make it satisfy, a lot of fans around the world. So what's really intriguing is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for a specific sequence featuring a young version of Rey as well as Rey's father. Specifically, a description of a young Rey inside of a tent on a desert world, where it's described that an older man is sitting in front of her who is dubbed as Vadar and said to be Rey's father. It's described that between the young version of Rey and her father, there is a campfire. The scene is described to be similar to when Poe and Lor San Tekka were talking in the beginning of Episode 7. The next goes over her father providing Rey a staff, where it's described that this was an ancient Sith relic that her father stole from the Jakku Observatory and belonged to Emperor Palpatine. It's said to be the moment in which the audience will see how Rey got her staff. Additionally, it's said that her staff is important in Episode 9 and holds a certain secret or truth in the film. The next goes over Rey's father also handing Rey what is said to be a kyber crystal that appears to be colored white, where it's said that the young Rey puts it in her pocket before the sequence shifts to a now adult Rey examining an empty tent on a desert world. So I want to go over a couple of parts about all of this. Now, what's really intriguing to me the most of all is, of course, Rey's staff and the origins of this object that we have seen since Episode 7. Rey has actually been taking this thing everywhere, and she just seems like, she can't let it go. And I think that now we're beginning to learn exactly where things are really going here, and what's really happening with the character of Emperor Palpatine and stuff like that. So, the one thing that I do want to bring up is, of course, the Rey's father character is dubbed as Vadar, as we have heard for a couple of months now, on and off. Very intriguing indeed. However, this flashback sequence in particular, we have Rey's father handing over the staff to a young version of Rey, where the staff is said to be an ancient Sith relic that was stolen from the Jakku Observatory. So in case you guys have no idea what the Jakku Observatory is, Palpatine's belongings actually were stored over there, which consisted of a lot of Sith relics and artifacts and stuff like that. Now, also note that a white kyber crystal was also handed over to Rey, a clear kyber crystal, if you will, handed over to Rey by Rey's father, and it was actually placed within her pocket before the entire flashback sequence shifts over to a now adult Rey, most likely in present time, obviously, where she's staring at an empty tent on a desert world. Now, this desert world, most likely, and it has got to be the planet of Jakku. Again, I think that it'll definitely play into, Finn's dialogue in the Force Awakens, where he says, why does everybody want to go back to Jakku, right? I think that in the teaser trailer, a lot of people are trying to figure out, is that Tatooine? Is that Jakku? What's going on here? And I think that it would be quite a surprise if it was, Tatooine. I mean, sure, of course it would. But at the same exact time, I would not be surprised if what we are seeing in the teaser trailer is actually the other side of Jakku, right? Himself. You can really see how JJ is really trying to tie the character of Rey to the Sith. And could this have something to do with Emperor Palpatine's laughter? Again, a lot of people have been trying to figure out, is Rey a Palpatine? Is she connected to that bloodline? Why would Rey's father hand her this ancient Sith relic? Would that even make sense? So to me, I think that there is a connection between Rey and Palpatine to a certain extent. We do know that there was a testing site on that world. If you guys have read the books and the novels and other canon material like that, there were testing sites on Jakku, and Palpatine had a great interest in this planet. So I wouldn't be too surprised that Palpatine created Rey with certain DNA or something wild like that. However, this particular sequence involving Rey's father handing over both the staff, which once belonged to a Sith, as well as the clear kyber crystal, It almost reminds me of what we got in Rogue One, a Star Wars story where we have that father and daughter relationship and that mother and daughter relationship between, you know, Jyn Erso and Galen and stuff like that. You could really see how a lot of Rogue One elements are kind of being shifted over into Episode 9. And honestly, guys, I kind of like this. I still believe that these parents that we hear of in Episode 9 are not her blood parents. I feel like that they are her step-parents, or maybe even people that are making believe to be her parents, right? Deceiving Rey, perhaps. I think that what's really going on here is that there's something missing in the story, and that once we go ahead and see the film, we're going to be truly blown away. And that's exactly what J.J. Abrams plans to do with this movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.